Hey guys, welcome to Chapter 3. In Chapter 3, we're going to have an introduction to HTML5. In the past chapters, we've really been digging into HTML, but we've only talked about core HTML and nothing to do with the new features of HTML5 and what it can do for the web in general. So we know what HTML is, but what is HTML5? HTML5 will be the new standard. It'll replace the previous version of 4.01 that came around in 1999. And the web has changed a lot since then. It's much more dynamic, it's much more interactive, and much more high-tech. If you think back to 1998, 99, if you think about what a web page was, it's kind of funny when you think of it now. It's just much more, it's just better. So HTML5 was a cooperation between the W3C and the Web Hypertext Application Technology Working Group, or WHAT-WG. And WHAT-WG was work. That's not a professional term, by the way. They were working with web forms and applications, and the W3C was actually working on XHTML 2.0. But in 2006, they decided to cooperate and create a new version of HTML, which is HTML5. And HTML5 offers some great new features that will make the web more dynamic and more interactive. And up to this point, we've talked about standard HTML, but we're really going to get into the new features in the coming chapters and the coming sections. So HTML5 offers a bunch of great new features. We'll have new sets of tags such as header and section, so we can describe content better, and the browser can use certain content types better for more efficient web pages. Another cool thing we have is the canvas element, which is used to draw graphics on the fly on a web page. You could draw a gradient rectangle or a multicolor rectangle, and the canvas is used for creating the lines, but to fill those lines we'd use a script. We'd use some JavaScript. Next we have local storage, which is great. It's an alternative to using cookies to store small amounts of data on a user's browser. So we'll be getting into that in the next chapter. So local storage is very cool. We have new form controls. We went over the HTML standard forms and form elements in the past chapter, and it's just input. Now we will have calendar, date, we'll have a time, we have all different kind of elements we can use in forms, and that work out really well for mobile browsing too. And next we have new media functionality. We'll have video and audio tags, and we can embed video and audio much better, much easier with HTML5. And then finally we have geolocation, which is very cool. It's used to pinpoint where a user is located, where the web page visitor is located, and something should pop up and ask if they want to be located before they do that. But yeah, very cool. And as far as browser support, HTML5 is not an official standard yet, and not all versions of all browsers will detect parts of HTML5. And one thing that many people get confused with is HTML5 is not one big thing. It's not something that a browser will look at a web page and say, is this HTML5? Oh, it is? Well, I can't read HTML5. It's just very separate. Some browsers might support the canvas. They might support the canvas element, and they might not support the new media functionality. So certain browsers do support certain aspects, and you can use whatever browser you want, but in my own opinion, I think Google Chrome is the best browser for HTML5. I think it handles just about everything pretty well. The newest version of Google Chrome, which of course could be different. A lot could be different at the time of you viewing this video, but that's for now. Another very important point is that your old HTML4 code is fine. You don't have to throw anything away. The structure, the base layout, the minimum requirements for an HTML document are the exact same. You'll see right here the same exact tags. So don't think that you have to relearn everything. HTML5 just builds on HTML4, which is a very important concept to understand. Another one of the big reasons for HTML5 is to prevent people from having to download third-party plugins like Flash or Silverlight. The HTML5 stack, which is HTML5, CSS3, and JavaScript, all those together, I don't think will replace Flash, but will eliminate the need to use Flash in certain applications and certain websites. I do think that Flash will be around for more advanced video processing and editing that the HTML5 stack just can't do. So I think that's good. I think now we have a good understanding of what HTML5 is and how it differs, not really differs, but adds on to HTML in general. So now I'd like to start a project and use some of these elements that we've been talking about.